Greetings, hunters, and welcome back to another episode of The Hunters AD 1492. And last time we picked some herbs for the local hospital, which led us to gaining some clues and evidence and some notes and paperwork and that kind of stuff, which will hopefully help us learn a little bit more about the beast we are hunting. We also got to witness the rather horrific religious ceremony of the local cult that seems to be in charge of Pensburg, where they were hurling young girls into some kind of demon pit. So after that piece of horribleness, we are going to continue our journey south. So, move to there, see if we get a travel event. Okay, there actually isn't any point setting that town board up, because all we're going to do is grab our rewards and keep moving. So we went to the marketplace, and we grab our 4 bits of iron and our 4 ducats that we gained from that previous quest. And that does give us enough to make some plate armour. So we're actually going to do our first bit of crafting. So here is our caravan, and we're on day 22. Now, to make some plate armour, we're going to need level 3 in shield making. And of course we haven't leveled up any of this yet. So what we're going to need to do is spend 2 ducats to get to level 1, another 3 to level 2, and then 5 to level 3. So that's a total of 10 ducats, so I actually don't think we can afford to do that. Unfortunately, we've only got 8 ducats. So what we can do, though, is we can level it up to level 2 and make some chainmail instead. So we're going to spend 2 ducats to put it up to level 1, and then another 3 to put our armour making station up to level 2. And then to make the chainmail, it's going to cost us 2 metal, 2 leather. I've just realised it's not chainmail we're wanting to make, it's a breastplate. So it's actually going to cost us 6 metal, 2 wool and 2 leather. And I've just looked at the breastplate, so it's going to reduce our perception, our mind, and our dexterity. So Wilhelm will take this, and I think we will give the brigandine to Friedrich. So there's nothing else we're bothered for in Ashenwald just yet. So we're going to travel down to here, which takes us onto day 23. And we see if we have a travel event, and we do. So I need to see what level this card is. So this is a level 3 road event, so these are going to be much more dangerous. So we take our level 3 deck, we'll give it a shuffle, and we'll draw from the bottom. Lost. Trees and rocks are hard to tell apart. The new ones you're passing now look similar to those you saw a few hours ago. You're tired, and it's the first time you visit this area. Didn't you walk this path an hour ago? What's worse, damn mist tantalizes your senses, making everything around look alike. Oh, each hero test perception 3. Oh, that's not good. So Friedrich gets a 2. We can't put him onto -1 morale, so that's a fail. Wilhelm gets a 2. So unfortunately, because that silly Sower of Fire ceremony we had to go to, we lost our bonus morale. So we failed those. So the test is failed. Flip card to option B. I knew that's what it would be. No one could find their way in these conditions. Wherever you look, only bushes, ravines and mud. You spend half a day wandering along forest trails, but you finally locate the right path. +1 day. So we're now late for this. Well, that was the worst possible time for that to come up. So we're now on day 24. But we can still do this, it's just best completed before 23 days. So, let's have a look. Your path leads through the mist. You can't remember the last time you had to spend so much time in it, but it seems that the travel through the fumes might take 2 or 3 days. What is lurking inside? So if I remember correctly, this was what the mother of the merchant, I believe it was, who said something to us about going and making a deal with some kind of demons. So I'm not sure I really want to do this, but it does seem necessary according to the red border. So let's have a look at 39.02. People say that animals born in the mist are different from those living in sunlight. Apparently if a wolf pup or a young bear somehow survive despite the eldritch vapours, they undergo a thorough change. Sometimes it might have an additional limb or eye. Sometimes it grows into a giant beast. One saddler from Pensburg saw with his own eyes a wolf pup with horns and eyes covered with a membrane. Still, it could find its young prey using strange sense unique only to itself. You don't want to encounter an abomination like this, and it probably wouldn't be the worst monster lurking in the horrid fog. Suddenly, you feel a gentle, cool breeze. Any hero rolls a d6. Okay, so we'll roll a d6, and we get a 6. So on a result of 4 to 6, we go to 39.04. Something huge emerges about 10 paces ahead of you, a monster with a massive head, topped by large, curved ram's horns, is looking right into your pale faces. Is it looking for prey? Resolve Quest 45B. And this is the setup for Quest 45B, where we will be fighting a Lucanus. Now it tells us for 2 heroes, the Lucanus starts with 8 damage on it, which I've put down here. However, I am starting to feel like Wilhelm is a little bit powerful, just with some of his skills and some tactical play. We are able to wipe out single enemies pretty quickly. So what I'm doing is I'm going to up the difficulty for this, because I don't want it just to be kind of a 1 or 2 turns and this powerful boss monster just gets smashed in. Because that is one of the slight drawbacks of this game, being able to pick your 5 cards at the start. There's a few minor balancing issues where you can make yourself very, very powerful in an opening attack, and when there's only one enemy, such as here with a boss fight, it does mean it can feel a little bit underwhelming. So what I've done is I've consulted the rules glossary, and there is options for harder difficulties. To make it level 2 difficulty, we add +1 to each of the defense values of every enemy we face. So I don't know if I'll do that for every quest we go on, but we're going to do it for this one. So he's got this defense token here, just to remind me that he's got +1 defense to everything. The other option I thought of doing was using the rules for a 3-player game, which we'll see how things go. If this is still too easy, then I may do that in future games. So with that said, let's have a look at Quest 45B. Quest goal. Your quest goal is to kill the enemy by the end of round 7. Special rules for 45A, B, C and D. The all-encompassing mist is so thick that all ranged and ranged magic attacks have their range limited to 2 spaces. Okay, and that's the only special rule we've got. So we are ready to begin. Now I've already picked our starting cards for each character, so all we need to do is shuffle the rest of our decks. And I've just noticed Friedrich's stats have been knocked all over the place, so that should be at 0, and that should be at 0. And then we will shuffle the Nasa Cornus' cards. So let's just have a quick look at the Lucanus and what he does before we start this fight. So he's got 17 health, but he starts with 8 wounds on him, so he's only got 9. So his perception is 1, so he's going to be going first. And then he's got ordinarily 3 defense for each type of attack, but he's actually got 4 because we're playing this on hard mode. Now, he does have demonic protection, so he ignores stun, mighty, immobilize, and pierce 1, 2, and 3. So he is going to be quite tough to get through. He also has this ability, Ethereal Blade, so helmets and armour cannot be used against its attacks, which means we're actually going to have no armour against him. So that breastplate we made is not really going to do much for us. And then he's got Demonic Gaze. Each hero who attacks the Lucanus suffers 1 wound at the end of their attack activity. Oof. Wow, okay, so he is going to be quite tough. But I think we're still up for the challenge. So we're still going to keep him in hard mode, despite all that. So we've got our character starter decks here. And then he is going to go first because he has the highest perception. So, let's see what he does. Okay, so he is at 1+ range. So he's going to move 2 and then attack 3 and use Mighty. So he's going to get straight up in our faces. So he goes 1, 2. But what we're going to do, as he enters this space, well, technically before he enters this space, so when he's there, Friedrich is going to use the reaction from his quick aid to attack as a free action during the enemy turn. So play on yourself before or after. Okay, technically you would have to attack him when he's there, but he's still got range to him, so you can still shoot him. So his blunderbuss has 4 dice and he has +1 to its accuracy, and we upgraded Wilhelm's agility, so now he will be adding 2 to this attack strength. Okay, he gets a 1, a 2 and 2 6s, so we get to add another 1 to that. That's another 6. Okay, so we add 2 to it. It actually blocks all of that damage because the PS1 has no effect. So unfortunately, it was a good effort by Friedrich, but not good enough. So he now needs to reload before he can shoot again. And the Lucanus barrels in. Oh, it's got its demonic gaze, hasn't it? So when Friedrich attacked him, he would take 1 damage for doing that attack, dropping him to 6 health. And then we do that attack. So now the Lucanus will attack him. It's got 2 dice and 3 strength, so it's not overly strong. 5 and a 5. That's going to be 2 misses. But it is strength 3. And the Brigandine that Friedrich is now wearing has 2 points of armour. Friedrich will take 1 damage, and because it was a mighty attack, his armour is reduced by 1. Okay, now we're going to do Friedrich's turn. So Friedrich, the first thing he's going to do is he's going to put these stimulants into play. I've just remembered, because I always forget this. He can't heal him because they're in the same space as an enemy because they're engaged. So he actually can't do anything else. He can't actually move, because even if we discard one of these cards, it becomes a move 1 action, not a parting leap. So unfortunately, Friedrich is kind of stuck there. But we've got our stimulants. So we're going to go for our usual big opener. We're going to play Blade Dance, and we can add as many of these cards to as we want. So we're going to add 3 copies of Protecting the Group, which is going to add 6 dice to the attack. So this is going to be a total of 9 dice. And then we also have Diamond Sharpening, so that's going to add +1 to our strength. So we're also going to add 3 to the attack strength at the end. So this is going to be, hopefully, a very powerful attack. And the 6 is going to be a miss. But it's attack 3, +1 for the longsword, so that's a 4. So all 4 of those hit, and then we get to roll an extra die for that 1, which gives us a 4. So out of those 6 dice, we've got 6 hits. And then we need to roll 3 more, because it's 9 dice. And we get 3 more hits, so that's 9 successes from the dice, +3, that's a total of 12. So we reduce the damage by 4, which knocks it down to 8. So we deal 8 damage to him, which puts him on 16 damage. So we've just dropped him to 1 health. So actually what I am going to do, because that was so ludicrously powerful, I'm going to retroactively treat this as if it was a 3-player game where he would be on 4 wounds to start with, not 8. Because that's just preposterous that we would just kill this powerful boss that fast. So we still did a total of 8 damage to him, which is going to put him on 12 damage altogether. So we've also got Draw Attention, so we could attack him again, but I want to save this card because I can use the reaction to make him attack Wilhelm instead of Friedrich. So we're going to end the turn there. So we need to draw 4 cards for Wilhelm and 2 for Friedrich. Okay, and then we go into turn 2. Oh, and Wilhelm takes damage, doesn't he? Because he attacked it. So I've just remembered as well, before we go any further, it has that ethereal blade ability, so we can't use armour and helmets against it. So actually, Friedrich's Brigandine wouldn't have defended any of the damage. So he would have taken 2 more damage and he would actually be on 3 health. So when it attacks, we're definitely going to have Wilhelm take the hit. Right, so it's going to attack 4 and push. So it rolls its dice and it gets a 6 and a 5. So it actually misses with both of those. But it does have strength 3. So it's still going to do 3 damage to Wilhelm. And that's going to drop him to 1 health, so he only just survived that. Oh. Actually, no, not necessarily. He's got his shield that he found, didn't he? So this wooden shield actually converts 1 of its strength points into a die roll. So it should actually roll another die, but it will only add 2 to its attack value. So he rolls a 5, and that actually is another miss. So it's only going to do 2 points of damage to him. So it drops Wilhelm to 2 health, and it pushes him away. So I can pick which direction he goes in. So he's going to go to there. So we're actually going to have Wilhelm go first. Now, Wilhelm has taken a lot of damage, so we're going to use that healing infusion we got way back when from that old lady we met in the streets, and it doesn't cost an action to use a potion, so we're just going to heal 4 damage, putting us back up to 6 health. And then we're going to discard Pummel to turn it into a move, so Wilhelm can move back into this space. And then now we're going to use Flurry of Blows. So this is going to give us 2 attacks against him, but we need 2s. So we roll our 3 dice. We've got +1 accuracy from our longsword, so we need 3s or less to hit him. So we get a 3, a 5, and a 6. Is there anything we've got that can help that? We can re-roll 1 die by discarding Precise Blow. So we'll do that. Oh, it's a 5. Okay, so we've still got our Diamond Sharpening. So we add 3 strength to this 3. But unfortunately, that's a 4. It's not enough to do any damage to him. We do get to do our second attack, so we'll hope for something a bit better this time. Okay, this time we get a 3 and a 2, and we add 3, so it becomes 5, so we do 1 damage to him, putting him on 13 damage, and that was our second action. So that's Wilhelm done. So it's now Friedrich's turn. And he's going to have to get out of this space. So he's going to use this move or parting leap. Now the good thing here is, because we outnumber this enemy, it doesn't get to make a penalty strike. So he can freely move 1 space. Then he's going to use 1 of his anatomy cards to heal himself back up to 5. And now Wilhelm draws 3 cards. And Friedrich draws 2. Okay, and then we're on to round 3. And the Lucanus is going to go first again. So it's going to attack 3 and then attack 1. So its first attack is a 2 and a 4, and of course Wilhelm's shield converts one of its strength into a die, which is a 4. So it does a total of 3 damage to him, dropping him back down to 1 health. And then it does an attack 1. Okay, so it rolls its 3 dice and adds 2 to the result. Now they all miss, but it still adds 2 to the result, and he only had 1 health left, so Wilhelm is knocked out. And we now have Friedrich's turn. So what we're going to do is we're going to heal Friedrich for another 2 points of damage, putting him back up to full health. And then we're going to use the stimulants as a move card. And Friedrich is going to move into there. So then we go on to round 4. Well, I may have made this a bit too difficult for myself. So the Lucanus is going to go. Oh, it heals as well. Oh dear. But we're going to lure it away. So it's going to move 1 towards Friedrich, and then it's going to heal 1 point of damage. So now Friedrich is going to use jump to move our parting leap. 1, 2, to get to there. And then he's going to use anatomy, which will heal Wilhelm for 2 damage. And this can be done instead of a revive action. We can just use a heal to get him back up. So we draw 4 cards for Friedrich. And then it's going to be the Lucanus' turn. So it's going to move 1 and attack 5. So it's going to move to here. And as Friedrich has the lower armor value, it's going to attack him. So it rolls its dice. I guess a 3 and a 1. So it ends in 1, but that's a miss. So it's going to do 4 damage, dropping Friedrich to 3 health. So Wilhelm is going to go next, so we need a good attack against him. So what we're going to do is we're going to use Divided Attention. So we attack 1 and then we get +1 offense token. So we need 2s to hit. And we got 2 2s. Plus our strength of 3, that's 5. So we do 1 damage to him. And then we're going to use Draw Attention again for another attack 2. This time we're going to add Precise Blow, because we can re-roll 1 die during the attack. So we roll 3 dice. So we add the offense token to the attack and the long sword's precision. So we're hitting on 4s this time. And we get 3 hits, and one of them is a 1. Oh, it's another 1. And a 3. So we didn't even need that Precise Blow. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8. So we take away the 4 for his armor, and it does 4 damage. So that is just enough to kill him. I won't be doing this again. The difficulty there, the difficulty spike, was massive. Maybe having just the defense up, but when I upgraded it to treating it as if there were 3 characters, especially with Friedrich not really being a fighter, yeah, that made that way more challenging. So we can now take a look at what our reward is. Victory. It was no easy fight, but the monster's carcass lies at your feet at last, limbs still twitching its final death throes. This was surely some kind of test. You must be close. The mist thins into the vaulted arches of a corridor leading southward. You hope it isn't beckoning you into a trap. The concourse of mist eventually leads you to a dark hole leering from the ground. It reeks of death and ancient things. Withered plants, blackened stones, and dark grey sand surround the grotto. No sane person would live here. As you approach, you are overwhelmed by a stench that evokes rotting fungi and slimy, nameless things. You are enveloped in impenetrable darkness as soon as you set foot into the cave. Susurrus whispers rise suddenly from the Stygian depths, and your limbs grow stiff and unresponsive. Frozen in place, unable to move, you can only stare into unyielding blackness, listening to the whispers.
Why are you here? Why must you pester us?
You don't hesitate, replying almost instinctively. We've come to pay Witcher's debt.
Excellent. Ida's made us wait so long. Come closer.
Warmth returns to your frozen limbs, some spell lifted as you regain control of your body, descending deeper into the cave. A weak light slowly materializes in the gloom. Blindly fumbling your way forward, you can feel the dank walls swelling into a spacious chamber, a fire burning in its centre. The chamber stretches upwards beyond sight, lost in a firmament of darkness. 3 hooded figures sit around the fire, of uncannily large stature, their gnarled hands stretched toward the warmth of the fire from dusky robes, long fingernails dirty in the gleaming firelight.
So, you wish to pay the debt? Each of you must pay a part. Yes, a part from each. Come to the fire. Breathe the smoke. A good smoke. Good for us, at least.
The creature's rasping laugh breaks into hoarse coughing. You approach the fire cautiously, just one more step. Your skin begins to sting. The smoke thickens, as if in response to your body's warmth. The stinging turns to burning, and you are awash in pain. Strands of smoke reach out for you, swirling about your face, twisting their way into your mouth and nostrils, penetrating your very mind. Racked with agony, you feel your deepest secrets laid bare, your most intimate desires torn away. You lapse into a horrid trance that seems to stretch into eternity before plunging you, at long last, into blissful darkness. Each hero has to choose. Lower your highest attribute by 1. The attribute may be raised again according to the normal rules. A hero may choose between multiple highest attributes if they share a value, or discard all of your equipment, excepting the cats and resources. Oh my god, that's horrible. Oh, that's terrible. So I have to choose to lose all of my equipment, or lose a stat. Well, oh, we've only just raised Friedrich's dexterity as well. We literally did that before this. We've only just crafted that breastplate. Wilhelm has got so much equipment. It's not worth losing it all. I'll never get all that back. I assume it means only the equipment on me, not what's left in the wagon. Because that's kind of communal stuff. It could belong to anyone. But Wilhelm's gonna have to take the hit to his stats. He's not too far off being able to level that back up again. He only needs 20 XP and he's already got 12. So we can always level that back up, but what a waste of experience. But for Friedrich, he'll lose the blunderbuss and the brigandine. Well, that's 20 experience that I've just wasted. Oh, that's such a hard choice. Oh wait, his mind should be on 2 as well. I don't know why it was down on 1. So I could actually choose to lower his mind. Which isn't great, granted. He has been doing a lot for us with any skill checks that involve mind. But it's not helping him as much with attacks. It's a really tough choice. I think we need to keep the blunderbuss and brigandine, because at least it lets him help in combat. And it's going to keep him, at least reasonably safe. So we're going to have to lower his mind. That's annoying. Yeah, that's really annoying. But you know what? I'm glad they put something like that in there, because it gives you a tough choice, and it also lets me know for the future that stuff can go up and down. Yep, so we're going to lose 1 strength from Wilhelm and 1 mind from Friedrich. And then we continue reading. You awake on a rocky path. You hear a mountain stream babbling nearby, and blinking blearily, find yourself looking up at a clear blue sky. Scavengers circle high above, but fly off lethargically, disappointed. There's no sign of the mist. Each of you feels as though you've lost something. Hands no longer grip weapons with the same strength. Fingers pluck at bowstrings without their former nimbleness. Senses lack their previous acuity. But Ida Heness' debt has been paid. You gain Clue 3. Each hero gains 7 experience and 1 morale. You gain 1 monster blood and 1 monster poison. Okay, so we get these. And at least we got a lot of experience. So Friedrich goes up to 8. And Wilhelm goes up to 19. So that's almost enough for Wilhelm to get his strength upgraded again. But do I want to do that, or do I want to get a card? And we each gain 1 morale. And it tells us to place card 63 face up on location 4. So that's going to be it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching. And as usual, like, subscribe, share, all the YouTube stuff. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.